Hey everybody, Logan with Enduro Engineering. Today I'm going to show you how to install the radiator guards on the CRF450 and 250 models. Alright, the first step you're going to want to do is remove your seat as well as the shrouds. So just go ahead and take an 8mm T-handle or a socket. You got the two seat bolts. Remove both of those. Alright, now you got both seat bolts out. Just go ahead and slide the seat off. And then you're going to want to remove the radiator shroud. You've got the bolt up here at the tank as well as the one right here into the radiator. So remove both of those and do this on both sides. Okay, now that you got both radiator shrouds off, the next step is going to be removing the radiator louvers. So there's a little tab in here on the radiator. You just reach in the inside and pry outward while you push forward. And then that whole louver will just pop right out. There's some pegs on the inside. You just pull right out of there. There's no bolts required in this. Now you got the louvers off. The radiators just have one mounting bolt. So there's one on each side. Just take an 8mm T-handle or socket. Go ahead and pull that bolt out. And set that bolt and washer off to the side. Alright, in your kit you're going to have the two outer braces for the radiator guards. These are going to go on the outside of the radiator, where these are going to be on the inside more towards the frame. So you're going to want to take the tab that's marked with an R, where the R is a right mount, and then the stamp with the R for the inner tab. And then take two of the 5x12 socket head bolts and mount that right on. You're going to need to take a 4mm Allen and tighten these down. You're going to want to do that on both the left and the right. Alright, so the radiator is just loose here, so you're able to pry it away from the frame. Take one of the 6x20 bolts that's in your kit, and then this bottom tab, slide the bolt right through. Let it hang, and then take your left or right. We're working on the right side, so I got the right one. And then you've got this mounting hole here that you're going to put through that bolt you just put through. And then take the provided lock nut and thread it onto that bolt. Alright, so this is still loose. Just line it up with the mounting bolt and then take the same OEM bolt that you pulled out of the radiator mounting, just without the washer, and thread that in. Then you can take an 8mm and get that mounting bolt tightened up. Alright, so now that you got the top mounting bolt tight, go ahead and take a combination 8mm. Use the open end to hold the bolt, and then a 10mm, you can use a socket or a T-handle, and then tighten that nut down. Now we're going to move to the outside mounting bracket. So take your provided clip nut, mount it to the top radiator tab here, slide that and snap that into place. Then take the provided 6x16 bolt, feed it through the bracket that's labeled with an R since we're working on the right side, and then thread it into that clip nut. Alright, you're going to want to leave this bolt loose, that way you can line up all the mounting holes on the front plate. And then there's a part number here on the front plate that ends in an R. We're working on the right side, so we're going to use the R. There's a notch up here to fit over that bracket. Get that lined up, and then all your mounting holes should line up. Take the provided socket head bolts. You're going to use 7 of them. There's 3 on the inner bracket. Get all those started by hand, and then there's 4 on the outer bracket. Now that you have all the front plate mounting bolts installed or started by hand, you can take a 4mm Allen wrench and just go through and tighten them. I can get my T-handle Allen wrench to most of the bolts, but this top one up here closest to the frame, I'm just going to take a small 4mm Allen. That way I can reach in that small area, get that one tightened up as well. So all the front bolts are now tight. This is when you're going to go back to this bolt you did in the previous step. It's an 8mm, just take a T-handle or socket and tighten that down. So the right side is completely installed now. You're basically just going to repeat the exact same process on the other side. Doesn't matter which side you started on, just repeat the same process on either side. Then all that's going to be left is putting your tank and your shrouds back on. Alright, installing the shroud, you're just putting it back on the same way you took it off. Plastic tabs lined up. You got a mounting bolt up here by the tank. And you're going to use the same hardware that you pulled out. So the OEM hardware for both top and going into the side of the radiator here. Alright, get the seat tightened up. And that's it. That's how you install the Enduro Engineering Radiator Guards on the current CRF250, 250 models. If you have any questions, give us a call at 517-393-2421 or visit EnduroENG.com.